Hi, welcome to Marlene at home, but I'm not at home. I'm at my home away from home. This is my family cabin up in the mountains, and it has been in the family for, oh boy, more than 70 years because I've been here almost all of my life, and it was before me. It was built in the 1930s. My stepfather, it's from his family, and it was his dad and his grandfather, and I'll show you a picture of him in a little bit, took a one-room schoolhouse apart about 3.5 hours away from this spot, took it apart piece by piece, and for 17 weekends brought it up here piece by piece and reconstructed it. Now there has been one addition put on in the back, a bathroom, since those days. We used to go down a long path over here to use an outhouse for many, many years. Also, when I was growing up, there used to not be any electricity, but around the time I was married, my dad always said they'd never put it up here, but they did. We are back in the mountains, probably a number of miles off of a paved road. We are in state forest, and so most of the cabins that were built here, well, the roads were put in as part of the, during the Depression, the work projects, my dad used to say. And then they would allow people to build cabins. You don't own the land, but you could build a cabin. Now they have stopped that, so there are no new cabins. They're trying to return the land back to the natural habitat. But anyway, if you have a cabin, you're able to keep it. Most of them are called camps. They're very primitive. They kind of look like the inside of an army barracks, a lot of them. They're just metal bunk beds and really kind of rough. But in my dad's family and with my mom, ours is a cabin and a little fancier. And of course there is private property further away from us that are very lovely, beautiful, huge log cabins have gone in. But anyway, this is something that I've enjoyed almost my whole life. My first memory of coming here, I was only about 6 or 7. I remember my Uncle Bob came up here to bow and arrow hunt, and I can remember how exciting that was, and we would do spotting deer at night, and just so much fun. And my family, 6 generations now, have come here and have enjoyed it, and many, many memories. My parents, when they came, they never came just as us as a family. They always brought a crew of people, so it's always been a big party, family place, lots of fun, packed with people. With my husband and I and our kids, our girls, my husband being in ministry, he liked to kind of come and get to the great outdoors and kind of be more quiet, and so we didn't have such huge parties with us every time we came. But that's how it was when I grew up. So let me just tell you a little bit more in a moment. I'm standing here on our back porch. This is our kitchen door, and I'm holding a picture of my dad's grandfather. It was my dad's grandfather and father that built this cabin, a one-room schoolhouse, tearing it apart, bringing it back together over 17 weekends, about 3.5 hours apart from where they took the schoolhouse. And this is a picture of him standing up on this same porch. So I wanted to show that to you. The cabin has had a lot of different guests. I can remember my dad telling me, I don't know, from maybe back in the 40s, 50s, a law student that came here and stayed like for a week and studied for the bar exam. And I remember that name. He went on to become a quite well-known lawyer. There have been people that have honeymooned here. There have been many people have vacationed. We've been here on weekends. We've been here for weeks of vacation at a time. You can't live here, but you can come and stay for a couple weeks at a time. And so anyway, we have lots of fond memories, lots of many guests, as I've already mentioned. One of the other favorite things is the swing. We have countless pictures of us kids at every age growing up, now then our kids, now our grandkids, on this swing. We just have a lot of different friends and family who always say, did you get a picture on the swing? And so I know some of you watching this video, you have many memories of the Four Winds cabin and this swing, among other things. Another thing a lot of people ask me about are the guest books. We have a whole series of guest books from the time we were small children. You can see our handwriting as we learn to write throughout the ages. The little tricks that we talk about that we've played on one another, up from the time we were little, learning to write, getting bigger. The same as fun now to look back and look at my own kid's signature, now my grandkids. We can look back, my sister and I laugh, we're here with former people we dated and their comments, and just so many funny things. My cousins, they love to come and look up and let their kids read about when they were here. And so I'm always asked about the guest books, and yes, we still have them, and they're always entertaining no matter who's here, whether you know the people or not, you love to read them. So just some other fond memories here at the Four Winds cabin. We're just leaving our dear Amish friends that we met 5 years ago, who have become like family to us, and we're headed back to the cabin. Our friends are called Lancaster Amish, and they're also called blacktoppers from their black-topped buggy. You just saw a white topper pass by us in their buggy, and we are headed to some homes of white toppers. They're Nebraska Amish, very old order. I grew up with old order Amish and just dear friends, and here's one of their homes here. And as we come around the curve, you will see that they're having church at one of their homes this week, the Nebraska Amish, the white toppers. I'm glad that these are kind of blurry because I don't want to violate the rule of showing you pictures of the Amish and their faces. So we're just going by here quickly. There's some on the porch that I don't want to disturb. Here we are headed back to the mountain where our cabin is on the other side of. Here is a view of the countryside of the farmland before we enter the mountains. And this will be Amish of both sex homes as well as Englishers' farms, and just a beautiful fall scene. It does remind me of the many years and the relationship I had with an old order Amish family and still have. They no longer live here. This was their farm when I was a child, their home. Of course, it's all got aluminum siding now and this bright color, but dear memories for me of the Byler family and the many memories in this home. We were the first English family that they ever let into their home. We've been to their funerals, their weddings, their special family events, and I cannot tell you how blessed it was for me to grow up in such a good relationship with these folks. And now we're real close to headed back to the mountains. For me, it's like a breath of fresh air. I just want to say, oh, when I get back to these mountain roads, windy and curvy roads, hills, and here we are. We've arrived back at the cabin. As I look at this left window, I remember a funny story. First of all, as background, I have to tell you that one Christmas, my sister and I bought our mom a very bright red fleece bathrobe. But anyway, when we were kids, early one Saturday morning, we all awoke to my mom screaming outside, and we ran to this very window you're looking at on the left to see my mom running and screaming coming from the outhouse and trying to remove her bathrobe. The next thing, we saw her fling her robe out onto the top of a bush as she came running towards the cabin. As she came closer, running in her flannel nightgown, she was yelling, "Bear, bear!" When she could finally talk, she said that being early in the morning, she didn't close the outhouse door. And after she sat down, she looked up and she saw a bear standing across a ways watching her. She was unsure if Red would attract the bear, so she tore the bathrobe off. Over my lifetime, I've probably seen, 8 to 10 bear near the cabin, but none of the bear have brought as much laughter to our family and the memories as that one on that particular morning. There's nothing better than opening the front door and walking into the living room to this warm fire that we all like to gather around. Of course, I like to fix it up and add some holiday festivity whenever I can. My family just loves this big open living room. There's my hunter husband after a long day resting. And here are his boots drying over the fire, all ready for tomorrow. Many a game have been played around this table on the other side of the living room. Most of our sofas open into sofa beds, so there's many people we can house out here just in the open living room. Here you are looking into the dining room, almost to the bathroom. This built-in dining room table is about, 12, maybe 14 feet long. Lots of people gather here, and here we're looking from the dining room back into the living room. And you can see some of the original wall decor from the 30s is still there. Another view of the dining room with a peek into the kitchen. And we, many a meal at this table and made in this kitchen. You can see the windows in the back. The two windows on the side I did not open the shutters from, so it's looking dark out of there, but just taking the pictures before the shutters are open. A great old farm sink. We have two bunk rooms. They each have 3 built-in double-sized bunks. And of course the kids always love to claim the top one. Not the moms and dads don't always allow them to sleep there by themselves. Here's a bottom one with my 2 younger grandchildren, a glimpse of the middle one. And then of course the cabin's the best place to gather with family, play games, be near the stove, or maybe a private heart-to-heart talk with Pup-Up. Here's cousins gathering together from one side of the country to the other, but meeting at the cabin. Here we are this summer gathering nearby at a swimming spot, and also nearby, Pup-Up teaching grandsons how to fish, or should I say grandsons teaching Pup-Up how to untangle fishing line. And then it's so nice to be able to swim and to fish while you're looking out onto the mountainside. It's a very beautiful spot. Here's those final family shots, all my grandkids and our dog. Here's my Ohio grandkids on the traditional family swing picture, and all 6 of them in Cooper as well here at this swing. Hey, thanks for joining Marlene at home today. I'm not at home, I'm at the mountains, but it's a beautiful fall day. I hope you're enjoying this fall as well. Again, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.